Well, I'll tell you something interesting, and I don't know what you think it means, but I've been living on the streets like, and I am kind of like this person like that, that I was kind of like minding my own business. I was, kind of treading water, and then people just started to rip the rug out from under me, and I've been like on the streets like ever since. Like that's actually kind of true. I mean, I was using Craigslist. I was working at Denny's for a while, and then I was working at this liquor store, and well, my stuff started missing left and right, like my jacket with like my bank cards and my my grandmother was running errands for me, and I had this little plastic Ziploc bag like with my new stuff in it, and then that disappeared, and complete entire backpacks go missing, and that it's painful, like maybe you can hear this person screaming at me from their window, like in the last video. I wonder if you could understand that was painful for me, or is it that you would not understand that was painful for somebody? You know what I mean? Isn't it almost interesting that there'd be like either one or some other way of looking at things. Either you could sympathize with that person or you don't. You know what I mean? Well, that was painful. I was talking about something, and I was like, people might understand this, and then it's like because it was embarrassing, and that it's not really. I don't want that to portray my very life. I don't want that to portray my anything. You know what I mean? And there's usually somebody to remind me that it's supposed to be tagging along with me. And I guess I would ask, who does that person think they are? You know what I mean? Basically, is that what's tagging along like with that guy? Some type of a social sophistication, like to have some homeless person like renegotiate their circumstances, Is that what I'm here for? Like to renegotiate my circumstances, like, or renegotiate my circumstances like in front of other people? Like, is that what I do? Or would you sympathize or not sympathize with me, like, if that's not like what I do, And so you see what I mean? Like, it's a very strange question, How many people could be running around like with some kind of a fantasy in their mind, talking about how they finally found some kind of a personal paradise with homeless people renegotiating something, like under the authority like of some other person, because that's the funny thing, is that it's not even like talking about like something that happens, like that you could, well, this person was doing this and then this is what happened. It's just that we become like obsessed like about like watching that person like in those circumstances, and that there's somebody who's in charge of everybody else that runs around asking everybody else like, aren't you obsessed? Aren't you obsessed with that? Don't you have the same like twisted obsession like with homeless people renegotiating their circumstances, listening to the rules and not listening to the rules that they, and it's just, it's you might not believe it, but I don't think that, that person needs to go see a psychologist. You know what I mean? And so there's something interesting, you know. It's that I don't know what you think that's worth, you know. But the story of the Good Samaritan, you know what I mean, is going to be pretty much just what that is. You know, I don't know if you miss out on that or if you don't, I don't know. But it's what it is, man. You know what I mean? I'm missing all kinds of stuff right now. And it was like I was treading water, and, you know, I don't know what it takes to keep somebody out on the streets. That's the funny thing, is that there's lots of people treading water. And you're trying to figure out what it takes for those bad guys to put somebody out on the streets. You don't understand, you know, that the only thing that it took to keep somebody out on the streets was to do that to that person one time, dude. You know what I mean? And why don't you take a look at yourself? You know what I mean?